Hi, this is Jackie from Bronx Baubles here again to show you part two of my vintage sterling silver ring collection, custom jewelry. And please hit the subscribe button and let's go to it. And I think this might end up being a three-part series because I think I have enough rings here to go into three parts. So let's get started. I'm just going to randomly pick out rings like I did the last time and just start speaking on it. This ring here is another natural stone ring. It's a huge hunker of a ring. It's, look how deep that is. And I seem to pick a lot of stones that have the green coloring in it. Look at the way the back is made. I can't say it's anything significant, but it's super heavy, and it's pretty big. I like the way the sun rays come out from the stone, giving it more visual appeal when you look at it. And this is a nice ring to wear with something that's kind of, I guess, green. This here is a heavy ring because the crucifix that's inside is solid. It's not hollow, so it has substantial size to it. It is a signed ring, and it says that it's made in Mexico. I was raised Catholic, and in my days when I lived in the Bronx back in the 80s, I would seek solace in the church. I spent Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, basically almost every day of the week at the church. And so, although I'm not a particularly religious person, I do seem to gravitate to religious themes in my jewelry. And I know it has a lot of influence on my childhood, and it kind of helped me get through the crack epidemic that was prevalent in the 80s. And the church, meaning the church, helped me get through it, and so there's a soft spot in my heart for them, although I don't necessarily agree with a lot of their philosophies. I'm not trying to get on a religious rant here, I'm just trying to explain why I gravitate to certain pieces, and that's solid, heavy piece here. This here is a camphor glass, and like you can see the rays of the camphor. Now I don't know if the blue would be considered camphor. I can tell you that this is not a vintage piece. This is definitely a modern reproduction of an Art Deco piece, and this is one of the rings that does not fit me, and I probably should sell it so that it can be worn because it is a beautiful blue. And I have another camphor ring. This one is missing its stone. It's like, I think it was a pearl that was in there, and this is more of what I'm familiar with as far as camphor. And I do have a camphor 14 karat gold Art Deco genuine piece in my collection, but this is a reproduction, and it's probably a better quality than the other. The filigree work is finer, but these are two really nice rings, and I should get the stone replaced because it is a beautiful ring and should be worn. Going back to the stone rings, this is a really nice color green. It kind of has like a spinach color to it with black speckles in it, and I love the way that this ring is made. The artwork design, the scroll is so beautiful, and I love the XOXO because when I sign off to a lot of people that I love, I usually put down the XOXO for hugs and kisses. So that was nice to see that on that ring. And look at the back side of that ring. Now that is beautiful. Like, I would wear the back as much as I'd wear the front of this ring. And it's nice, comfortable. I don't wear it often and give it as much credit and love the way it should, but it really is a great ring. This is a ring that I purchased, I don't remember, maybe 15 years ago. It's jet glass, I think this is. It's definitely glass. I love the way the prongs are set with marcasites. It is a big ring. It's very heavy. The backside is nothing, unusual about the backside of the ring. But I used to wear this ring quite often, and I probably would look good if I paired it up with this ring here, maybe. You let me know if you think it pairs well. Um, this ring has seen better days. It was a ring that I wore quite often. It's Abalone, and it's very comfortable on the finger. I have the matching bracelet to this, and I'm probably going to do a video on my sterling bracelet collection. This probably seen better days. It's not the greatest well made, as you can see here. It has, like, you know, I don't think they fit that well, but it is beautifully made. Look at the back. The back, I love it when they design the back like that. That's just, I don't know, I just like it a lot. And I'm trying to read what it says in the inside of the ring, and I can't. So that's an Abalone ring. It's all natural, and that's the great thing about, you know, beautiful nature. You can find these wonderful things in nature and make precious jewelry out of them. This is a ring that I probably bought about a year ago. And I don't know if you can see, but there are bees, mosquitoes. People get grossed out by mosquitoes and bees, and you know, some people are deathly allergic to them. But I love critters. I like all kinds of critters, and I buy a lot of critter type jewelry, snakes and toads and bees and all kinds of different types of critters. I like them a lot. This I found to be unique because it has the mosquito bee, almost as if, I guess it's like a bumblebee design, because if you can't really tell, but there's like you know how the bumblebee has the black and the yellow, it has that striping here, and they're all trying to get to the honey, and the honey is this middle yellow stone, and look at the way that sparkles. It's an interesting piece. This is a piece that I bought, I think I bought at a yard sale. And I think I paid yeah, I remember now. This was when I lived in Long Island. I paid $1. I remember exactly now. It was $1. I loved the screen. I think they call this chrysophane or something like that. Please let me know if you know what it's called. With the marcasites all around. It's a very delicate ring. I'm not sure if it's vintage, but it could be. It is one of the delicate rings that I have. All of my delicate rings I gave away to my niece because I really don't wear them, but this was one that I kept because I really thought it was special. I always like stones, green stones in my ring. This is, looks like an engagement ring, but I used to wear this back in the days when I was into my marcasites. And it's still relevant today. I think I could still wear something like this and I'll still look good, you know. And I think this is a Judith Jack ring. Now, this is an N.E. Fromm ring. And I'm trying to look for my other N.E. Fromm. Okay, I see it right here. And I'll talk about that next. Okay, so I wanted to set this up. This is a rose quartz N.E. Fromm, who is a Scandinavian mid-century ring. So I believe this ring is in the 70s. And I have the matching bracelet to this ring. And here is another N.E. Fromm ring that I own. And this one I bought maybe 2 months ago at the thrift store. And it's a Scandinavian ring, and I think I paid $10 for this ring, and I know this ring is well over $100. And this ring is not the most comfortable ring because it's so big, it kind of like, you know, moves around a lot. But look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Huge quartz. I want to say it's quartz, but don't quote me on that. I think it might be quartz stone, faceted. Look at that. Now you can see it a little bit better. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm familiar with it because I have several N.E. Fromm rings, including jewelry, including this ring here with the matching bracelet. And the way I acquired this ring is after my divorce, I had my engagement ring, and I really didn't want to wear the ring anymore, and I didn't really want to pass it on to my daughter because, you know, it has a negative connotation. I want her to start fresh and new and on a good note. And so I pawned my ring because I needed to I wanted to go to Florida to visit my old roommate. And I didn't have the money for it because I just got a divorce and I was pretty much flat broke. So I pawned my engagement ring for tickets to Florida. And in the pawn shop was this ring with the matching bracelet and a whole entire other set that I'm going to show you at some other point. And it's the green it's the greenstone chrysophane, and it has the matching ring, bracelet, necklace, earrings, and brooch. It's a complete Peru set. I'm definitely going to show you that at some point. And I bought both these pieces of jewelry, the green and this rose quartz, and I paid $150 for it. And the ring alone, I think it's worth at least $100. So that's what this ring reminds me of. And when I saw this one at the thrift store, I knew that it was a mid-century ring too by the same designer. If I look inside, it says any from Denmark. So this is actually from Denmark. This is a ring that I use quite often, and if I had an engagement ring, it'll probably look like this. The only thing I don't like about this ring is that this piece right here is not comfortable. If this did not have this piece, I think it would be a much better ring. And this ring I wore and paired it up a lot with this ring. And both of these rings are not the most comfortable rings to wear, but look at that. It is flashy. And if I did have the money or marry somebody with money, which and they bought me a ring like that, waza waza waza. But this ring here, look how it's constructed. Now that is gorgeous. Now even if I don't get a ring this size that's real, if I were to get an engagement ring band, it'd probably be a lot smaller than this, but with that concept. I just like those eternity rings. It's really pretty. This ring here is called broken china jewelry. And the reason why it's called broken china is because this actually came from China plate. And I think if I was going to guess, it would probably be Royal Dalton Old Country Rose. I think that's where it came from. That was my china when I got married, and I gave all that stuff away. Especially, I don't really particularly care for Victoriana anymore. But I think that's why I bought this ring, if I'm correct. But it's made from china that's broken, and they did a nice job of it. This ring here is your basic Tiffany ring, and I do have another ring, the oval shape ring, with some matching jewelry from Tiffany's, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen this piece. Again, it's part of my whole heart collection of rings, which I showed at the other video. So I should have probably pulled this one out, but I didn't. This is an amazing little piece of jewelry. I love this, love this, love this, love this, because look how delicate, and it's 2 ram's heads. I happen to be a Scorpio, but the detail, I don't know if you can see the details on this ring with the braiding, and it has an Italian feel to it. And I bought this at the thrift store within, I guess, the last 3 or 4 months. And I believe I paid like less than $4 for it. I don't know what it's worth, but it's a gem of a little ring. And if I do wear little rings, it'll be something whimsical like this one. This is a beautiful lavender ring. The stones are very, very bright and shiny, kind of reminiscent of an engagement ring. And I have a matching bracelet that goes with this ring. It's really pretty because the color is kind of pinky lavenderish. Here is another yellow ring in a pear shape with rhinestones. And I think I bought this in the 90s. It's a quality made ring. It has some size, substance to it. It's not heavy like some of the other rings that I have, like this one as an example. But it, but it does have enough weight that you can tell it's quality. Isn't that pretty? This ring here, I remember buying this when I was still married, and that's how sometimes I remember things. Before marriage, after marriage, before Sophie, after Sophie, when Sophie went away to college, and that tells me more or less where I'm at in my years. So life events matter to me. So this was bought when I was still married, so that was maybe 15 years ago, and I bought this from a catalog. Back in the days when people used to order things from catalogs, I don't think I haven't seen a paper catalog in white sometimes. I'm sure there's people who sell stuff in catalogs still, but everything's basically on the internet. But I believe this was a museum piece. I bought from a Metropolitan Museum. Although it's not marked inside a museum, I remember buying it from one of the museum catalogs. That's kind of cool. Now this ring here is cool because it reminds me of the disco ball days. Look at that. Like Studio 54 in Manhattan back in the days. I was a little too young at the time to attend, but I was around when it was a happening place to be. And so that's what that reminds me of. It's a disco ball. And go dancing, and I love to dance. And I miss taking dance lessons during this pandemic. Now, this is a recent ring that I bought, and I bought this maybe 6 months ago. Now look at that guy, a cat or tiger or leopard. I know that these are patterned. I think Bulgari had jewelry like this. One of the famous designers, Cartier maybe even. It's definitely a well-made piece. It has a lot of details. Even the spots on the leopard is accentuated. It has emerald eyes. Look at that mouth, you know? It's really, and then the back neck and the ears stick out. Really a great quality ring. I bought, and look at the inside. You can tell the inside too. I love it, like when they finish it off like that. That's really, really pretty. And I do believe I have the earrings to this, although I haven't found them in quite some time. Anyway, this ring I recently bought. This is a designer ring. The artist signed it here. I wish I could remember the name. I can't really see that tiny right now without magnifier. But it's vines wrapped around the ring, and then it has a little dogwood flower. So as you can see, I like naturalistic things, animals, flowers, natural stones and things like that. This is going to be the last piece I show, because then I'm going to show the rest on part 3. This here is a moonstone ring. You see how pretty that moonstone is? And I bought this maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Nice design. It's heavy but not hard to wear like some of the other pieces that I wear. That's a little harder to wear. This one is not as hard to wear. The stone in the inside, it's just a milky ring, as opposed to another ring that I have here that I can't seem to find. That is oops, here we go. That's a moonstone ring. Here it is. This moonstone ring. The difference between this one and this ring, the big one and the small one, is the big one is a milky moonstone, whereas the small one, I think it's more a natural quartz, because this must be just glass. This one has an iridescence to it. And I actually wear this. It's one of the rings I wear often, because it goes with everything. It's easy to wear. It's not in your face. And I believe this stone is genuine and real, and this is just glass. And I think that's why I gravitate more to this ring, because of the naturalness of it. So with that, I'll let you go. And how do you call it? I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any answers for any of the questions that I have, if you have any comments, please leave it. Hit subscribe and the bell. And I'm going to do part 3 for my custom silver rings. Didn't know I had that many to even show, but I'm glad I do. So thank you so much. See you soon. Adios.